Hi, and welcome to Art a la carte. Today we're going to learn how to draw a mermaid. So I have one of my all-time favorite mermaids right here as a little figurine. Of course, Ariel from Disney. And so as you can tell, the top part is human and the bottom part is fish. So we're going to use this as inspiration to create our very own mermaid. So when you want to start this drawing, you first want to lay in your sketch. So I'm going to use this Prismacolor color pencil in blue just so that I can lightly sketch in my drawing to get what I want. So dust my paper off, getting dusty. So I'm going to just lay in my shapes. So I'm going to put in my circle for my head, and I'm going to draw a line down coming down here for her spinal cord, and then I'm going to lay in where her shoulders would be. I'm going to draw in another circle for her upper torso, and I draw another circle down here for her hips. This just kind of helps me know where everything is going to go. And again, I'm drawing really lightly, so then I can begin drawing in how I want her arms to go. So I'm going to have her arms coming up and her hands. So anywhere there's some place that bends, I'm going to draw in a circle for the joint. So draw the arm, circle for the elbow, and come up, and then put another circle in there for where her hands are. Now when you get to her fin, there's two different ways that you can draw a mermaid tail. One is you can keep the same bone structure of a human leg, so it's going to come out here with no bends, joint here, and then come down. And it almost looks like a person wearing a mermaid suit. So if you want a more realistic, if you look at a fish, you can see that they're very flexible all the way through their fin. So I'm going to draw just kind of the line that I want the fin to have, very lightly. And then I'm going to follow this line. And as it's up at the top, it's going to be a little bit thicker as it gets up towards her torso. But then as it comes down to the bottom of the fin, I want it to slender out, thin out a little bit, until it just comes to a very nice little point. I'm going to connect to her torso, to her lower torso, to her upper torso, and just thicken in her arms a little bit, just like that. Alright, so now that I have her blocked in, I can move on to my pencil. People ask me all the time what kind of art supplies do you use to draw with. If you're just sketching and having fun like I'm doing here, it really doesn't matter. This is a pencil I got at the Dollar Tree. As long as you're actually drawing, that's the most important part. It's not whether you have really expensive pencils or paper, as long as you're actually doing something with it, drawing. When I get to something that I am doing professionally or I'm going to be selling, of course, I use a higher quality pencil or materials, nicer paper. But for just fun sketching, I'm just using regular computer paper and just a little mechanical pencil. Just have fun with it. So I'm going to start in darkening in my lines and actually creating my mermaid. So I'm going to start up here with her neck. Notice how I'm thinning it out as it's coming out towards the wrist. It's getting thinned out just a little bit. A little bit more muscle back in the upper arm. When it gets to the wrist, it thins out just a little bit. Hands themselves could be an entire tutorial. She's several tutorials on drawing hands. So if you have a problem with drawing hands, just give me a comment and say that'd be something you'd be interested in, and I will do a tutorial on drawing hands. Because once you can figure out hands, they are really fun to do. It's just having to actually figure out how they get put together and work is kind of the challenging part. Okay, so as you see, I've just followed my line and just darkened it in. Now I can begin adding a little bit of the detail. So first I want to add in is her fin, and there's a ton of ways to draw fins. I'm going to lightly sketch out kind of a triangular shape. And it's it's totally okay if it comes and overlaps over top of her. That's going to add a little bit of depth to your picture if you have something overlapping another part of your picture. Now, instead of just drawing a straight line down, I'm going to give it a really curved line. This is going to make a really cool fin. And then I'm going to work on her head. Talked a little bit about how to draw a cartoon girl's head in one of my other videos, so if you haven't seen it, I'll put the link right there to check that video out. I'm just going to sketch in her head, and then I have to get to design her hair. And you can give her long hair or short hair or really crazy hair. You can have just tons of fun with it. I'm going to do a kind of a curly make my curly shapes. Instead of drawing individual hairs, I'm drawing shapes of hair. And you want to think about how gravity is going to pull the hair down. If she was in the water, you could have the hair just kind of flowing up and around her, but she's going to be out of the water. So her hair is really curly and has a lot of volume. Ultimately, it's going to be pulled down in a downward shape because of gravity. So making these small little shapes going along with the motion, I'm creating layers to the hair and volume without having to draw every single individual strand of hair. Start working on her face. So I'm going to put in her eyebrows. And again, in my mind, I've mentally divided this up from the top to the bottom, divided that in half. There's where her eyes are going to go. Once you have practiced this a lot and you're used to dividing it up, you can just automatically do it as you look at it. You don't actually have to draw the dividing lines in there. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I can just eyeball it. Giving just the emphasis or hint of like a nose is, I find, a little bit better than actually drawing the full, like, just giving that just a little shadow of what a nose, where a nose would be. Sometimes more is less when you're drawing. And I'm going to shade the upper lip right here, and then I'm just going to add an indication line for the bottom lip. So now that you have the full mermaid drawn, you can begin decorating her with scales and jewels and whatever you want to design on your mermaid. And so this is the fun part, so let's get started. Then lastly, we're going to just add a little bit more detail to her fin, and I'm going to make just some texture lines coming out from the base of her tail, going out to the end of her tail. Now our mermaid's floating out in the middle of space, so I'm going to just draw a little rock. that's our finished mermaid drawing. And for all you mermaid enthusiasts out there, I also have my mermaid poster that has 11 different hand-drawn pictures, which I have for sale on my Etsy shop, or you can contact me directly to find out how you can order your own Mermaid's Mini Coloring Poster Set. Each picture is printed on a heavy-duty paper, which is great for colored pencils, crayons, markers, and they're really fun. Lots and lots of detail in these pictures. Had a lot of fun with them. So I hope you enjoy. So check out the link below to my Etsy shop for the Mermaid Poster coloring set and a bunch of other stuff. So have a great day, keep practicing, and remember, God bless you.